wish to be tiefling.
Well,
Let me be bard.
good news for you. Hi, welcome back to Cantripped.
Keep that. That's the intro.
I feel like we're off to a great start.
Oh, episode 21. My name's JB. As per usual, I'll be DMing our adventure today, and here is my party.
Hi, I'm Art.
Hi, I'm Beck.
Hi, I'm Connor.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Yay!
Yay!
Last time on Cantripped, we explored Makkoryn a little bit more, had some fun looking around. With the pottery class, was that last? No. Yes?
No,
That was the one
That was
before.
the time before.
Last time was the time we ended with interrogating Neph.
Neph had a knife.
It was mostly Neph stuff.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, Neph just appeared with a knife in the communal bedroom.
Mm-hmm. With
And we
Neph
had to be like-
question hour.
Yeah, we're like, hey, buddy.
We're playing the world's weirdest game of 20 questions.
Mhm.
We ended
Charades.
on a question and answer that I feel like was pretty heavy. I think if it's okay with you guys, we can do a little time skip
I'm
Yeah.
happy
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
to the next morning and say that like that's kind of where question hour ended and we went to bed.
Where do we think Neph would have ended up sleeping after all that?
That's a good question.
that
What's your answer?
That's your question.
I don't-
What do you mean?
I don't think Neph would have gone back to sleep in the room. I think he'd be too on edge, so he'd probably sleep on the couch out there with the rest of
They're
them.
in a cuddle pile.
The whole party.
Yup.
I love that. Okay.
For my heart and soul.
So I believe we have one more day in Makkoryn that we said we wanted before we leave. Is that correct?
We can do that, or we can skip to like we're starting to leave.
Yeah, because I don't know what else to do.
I was
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
kind of running out of like out of character things to do in
I couldn't.
Makkoryn.
Yeah. No, that's real.
We did an episode where we went to a wine and pottery class. Like we
Hey, we got to meet Dr. which is incredibly
met Dr.
important to me.
That's true.
Cool. So we get up our
Was the consensus we were gonna head east and get a boat
yes.
down to I forgot Human Kingdom name.
Mhm. And I think I
Crivia?
said it. I don't remember if it ended up being in an episode, but I think at one point I did say. So if we go towards Crivia we're going towards Crivia in the end. But the best place to get a boat is going to be the village that is right on the river, which is Ilton, where Juniper lives. So that's perfect. So Juniper can come home that way, and then from there can go home, and y'all can par off. I believe that was the plan we talked about ages ago. I don't remember if that ended up being in an episode, and I wanted to make sure that was still good with everybody.
Works for me.
I think that's good. Yeah. Makes
Oh,
sense.
okay. Ready, Roo?
Backing up.
Question that can be cut out of the episode because my brain is nothing. Why are we going to Cruvia again?
More information on the knife.
Okay, cool. I thought that was it.
And now that everybody knows about Neph's curse, does that change our plans at all?
That's a good
I
one.
think that depends on what Neph wants.
Yeah.
You know, like, because we didn't get... Did any of... Oh, man, that would have been a great thing to add. Can we break it?
Mm.
Can
I don't know.
Could we break it? Is that even
That-
possible?
Is that a morning question that maybe we bring up to Neph? Like, how do we get you out of this one?
Yeah, I think actually that probably needs to be us.
Like,
we can start a little our scene then on the morning. Everyone is kind of, I assume, like taking our time waking up. We're not in a rush, kind of gotten ready, get on the road, and we're kind of beginning to head out back through the city in the direction of Ilton. And as the party is walking, this could come up in conversation.
yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I think so. I don't think we need to roleplay it, but I want to say that I think Dan was up early to catch Elle before she went off to the mines. To
Oh,
be like, hey,
absolutely.
I'm gonna leave, but I'm letting you know that I'm leaving this time,
Well ahead of schedule.
and I will be back. And like, just to like let her know
Okay.
and say goodbye and say thanks for letting them all crash on her floor.
So I think as you guys are heading out of the house, Dan has caught Elle and made her aware of the situation and everything. You guys would notice sitting, I imagine, like on the banister of the front porch, in my mind's eye, a very large golden eagle perched there.
Oh!
I would like to pet it. No.
Uh,
I do
Okay.
think Kieran probably like walked towards it, like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Can Rowan grab him by the shoulder and like put like no?
What is it?
Like,
Kieran's like, let me.
no.
What?
You get close enough, you notice the eagle kind of was probably surveying the house and then like turns its head, kind of cocks its head at you as you're looking at it. And you notice where like birds will typically have pretty dark eyes. This eagle has more not light eyes, but gray, almost like silvery, glimmery sort of to its eyes as it makes eye contact with you. Kind of cocks its head. And you get close enough that you would notice a little letter tied to its leg.
Kieran like pulls from Rowan and like scurries on over. He has mail. We have to get it. And then we'll like very gently like open his hand.
Can I ask? Is a golden eagle a typical male thing?
This is not how mail arrives here. I feel like I should stress that. No. Like Dad's looking at Elle being like, "Is this yours? Do you own? Did you get a bird while I was gone? What do you? Why is this here?"
Elle is jaw dropped. Like, no, I've never seen a bird like that in this area before in my life.
Kate, have you gotten mail from a bird like that before?
I don't know, God, have I gotten mail from a bird like that before? Kieran doesn't get mail. That's the answer to that question.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if
Someone's-
you
Oh,
would
no.
specifically. I could give you a history check if you want to see if you can your knowledge on mail systems.
Me personally, Kieran's going for the bird. I don't think he's.
Okay.
I don't think he's even searching for history right now.
He doesn't even care.
Could I do a history?
He wants to go take the letter from the bird.
I would say if Kieran's not going to, and Kieran's gonna take the letter, then like it was Kieran's role to make.
Yeah, that's cute.
Feel free to argue.
Can I do an insight check? on the bird?
Yeah, you know what? Go for it. Yeah, give
I
me
just-
an insight, animal handling perhaps, just to get a read on
I just
the
I have
bird.
a +1 animal handling, a +2 on insight.
Okay, yeah, go.
So-
Either one works in this situation.
That's a nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, so
I know this bird's inner thoughts.
you read the bird's mind. The bird looks from Kieran to you, Rowan, and you noticed like its eyes were unique at first because they stand out, they kind of catch the light. But like the swirling in them is definitely magical of some sort. This is not a typical bird.
I hope not.
You haven't reached out and touched the bird or anything, but like it looks like an eagle. Like it looks like an eagle, it looks like a normal bird, but there's very clearly something else going on here, some sort of enchantment or something.
Okay, but it's not like this thing is not malicious. Is kind of what I'm.
No, it's
Okay,
perched on
cool.
this it's perched on the railing looking at you. It's not there is nothing bird as far as your knowledge of bird body language goes, which is a little purely because I don't know anything about bird body language, but the bird's not aggressive.
I'm just want to make sure my buddy Kieran is not gonna get his eyes clawed out.
I forgot that golden eagle is a type of bird, and when Jim was like, "It's a golden eagle,"
Oh,
I
no,
was
no.
imagining an eagle like made of gold. I was imagining that was what was weird about the bird.
I also was. I'm so sorry.
Oh, is that not what we're looking at?
No, a golden eagle is like a brown. Here, let me find a picture of a
it's a-
golden.
it's a
Google golden
species.
eagle.
Is it Mojave a golden eagle? Is that my point of reference?
Is that
Yeah.
I think
That might be my
yes.
frame of
is that
reference.
true? Is that facts? I knew there's some kind of
I
eagle.
think yes. Now that you say that.
Yeah, no, they're pretty.
Okay.
Okay.
They're very pretty. I was like, "It's a golden bird? What do you mean the
was-
eyes? This thing is gold."
No,
I was also picturing a solid gold bird.
no.
We're media literate. It's fine.
Letter.
Letter.
I would like letter.
You take the letter. The bird will like lift its leg so you can untie it easy.
Oh, I say thank you to the bird. I try to give it bread.
The bird does not take the bread, but it does nuzzle your hand a little bit.
This is all okay. I put the bread next to the bird in case he is hungry later. I'd like to look at the letter.
What does Bartolini think of the bird?
I think Tortellini would like to fight the bird in hand-to-hand combat, but he's not because it's not Kieran's
You're
will.
so brave.
Resisting.
I'm gonna text you what this little letter says. Art.
Ooh, secrets.
Scurries.
If you decide that Kieran wants to share it, then I can read it aloud. But I want you to be able to survey first and make your decision.
Okay, I peep with my eyes.
It'll be so funny to me if you say no. Kieran keeps this to himself because that's
Yeah, because we're gonna ask about it. I feel
Yeah.
so funny. a giant golden bird brought you a letter, and you're like, this is not your business. Like, but also,
Also, this is my house. This is my house. Why is there a bird here,
The
Kieran?
eagle's not hurting anybody. It's arguably less disruptive than Kieran's other pets. Like,
Live in a society where birds deliver mail. It's not that big a deal.
Not, I guess.
it's a little funny though.
I think Kieran will like perceive the letter and then like smile a little bit and then probably pet the eagle a tiny bit.
Good.
And then we'll turn back and I don't think he like directly hands it to anyone, but like holds it close to his chest. It's from Aurelius. Just updating me. They made it back and they heard about the fiasco at the library, so apparently news is getting around and that's how they knew where to start sending the bird. This is his bird. How do I say that name?
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Oh my god, Guillermo del Toro is in our.
I love Guillermo.
I love what we do in the shadows.
No, because I had a conversation about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and the name was on my brain.
Dan is turned to LB and like, don't worry about the library. Everything's fine. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Raised eyebrow.
Is everything okay with Release?
You know, as okay as it can be when someone dies.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think he's okay. And like will I think take a moment to go respond to the letter.
Mhm.
I don't have the brain cells to write that
No,
now.
you don't have to.
But
enough.
logistically consider that I do. And I think it's just along the lines of like, we're doing well. Library, what
Mhm.
library? Who would do such a thing?
Certainly not my magic lizard.
Not my magic lizard who you referenced in the letter. He will say hi to Eudora for Aurelius and just generally asking how are things with what happened
Okay.
with their grandmother. Like, well, what
Gotcha.
how's that going? You know, like how's that
Okay.
over there for y'all? Just kind of big check-in, and I think he'll open up a little bit about how they're going to the next place. Also, like assume I don't think I write this out. I think I'll just verbalize the kind of vibe that he's sending.
No, yeah, that's all I need.
I
That's
think he'll also put in there where they're going next in case Bird needs to find him again for next message.
Okay, let me write that down. Give me 2 seconds.
The brothers are doing a pin pal. First brother says, "Hello, how you doing, Pookie?" Second brother says, "I'm all right, Pookie. How are you?"
Dan's like, tell him we say hi.
like little kids on the phone. Like, oh,
Yeah.
hi.
Tell Release we said hi.
Tell her to say hi. I think Dan still feels bad about the barn burning down the barn. So it's like
Karen will add that in.
I would like the king, the sovereign king of a nation, to not hate me. We've established they have a lot of money and will find us.
No, yeah, you did
Yeah.
we did all get threatened a little bit.
Bold of you to assume Rowan can't hide from any amount of money.
Oh no, he's very
Mm.
rich.
The bird found him.
I don't think Dan can hide from shit. Dan has consistently.
I like the specific. Oh, we started setting the birds there because we heard about the library. Are there just a bunch of golden eagles like flying around Makkoryn, being like, "Where the hell is that tiny little
No,
guy?"
it's just the one bird that came and
He's
looked at him.
magic. In
He's
my
magic.
defense,
It's just a magic bird.
sometimes I'm allowed to look at things that don't make sense and say it's magic. Shh.
No, and you're so valid too.
He's a very witch magic bird. We have wizards and shit. Them finding her brother with a bird is not that out of pocket.
Listen, I think it's silly.
They're literally, it's there. It works.
The magic bird finding is not the bit I'm questioning. The bit I was questioning is, does he hate me?
See, you're
A
asking
much
the
more
real
important
questions. I will, Jim, I need you to edit your message so that Kieran can say that they also said hi. The party said hi. Dan wants to know if you hate him. I need that to be included.
Dan definitely made like a comment being like, I really hope they don't hate me after the mine thing. And Kieran is like, Dan would like to know.
And then next time I'll come back to you and be like, Dan, they said they hate you.
They say yes. They said they did not like you.
I'm just picturing Dan being like, "What? Why'd you tell him that?"
Oh, I love it here. And then as you guys are heading out through the city, can everyone roll me a perception check? Please. Pretty please.
23.
What the hell?
I can finally see.
Someone got their glasses fixed.
I got my glasses. Finally, my +4 doesn't feel pathetic.
15.
I got a 2.
2.
2. That's a 17.
I will say Rowan definitely picks up on things first.
For the first time in my life.
For the first time in her little old life, you would notice that the main area of town that you have to kind of travel through to get out the side of the town that you need to get out is busier than it has been the last couple of days. And there seems to be some kind of crowd forming near the castle gates. And I think Rowan would notice it first, and then after a second, if it's not pointed out, then everyone else would begin to hear, not Dan.
For flavor, I feel like this whole time, since she knows, we're all aware of where we're going. I think she has been holding on to Juniper's hand, the whole time, and I think she's going to take any opportunity to distract from the current mission.
Look over there!
What's points? What?
Points.
That's busier than normal, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Wait, Dan, over here. Dan, turn around.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Dan, what are you looking at?
I think Dan, you know what? Here's my flavor. The flavor is that Dan is like keeping an eye on Neph and is very concerned about Neph after the whole appeared in the room with a knife, dazed and in pain, and is like, just being like, are you okay? Like, what's going on there? But yeah, Dan will be like, oh, that's that's the castle of the Makkoryn royal family. You kind of see up above some of the buildings, up in the mountain there.
Dan. Other way, Dan.
No, I
No, that
I
is
know
the right
where
direction.
you're
Okay.
talking about. That's the right. You can see
Yeah,
it. It's a
you
big
look-
mountain. It's like there's a.
It does kind of look like a mountain from a distance, like with the earthen. It's not. It like the view in castle is like colors, stained glass, shiny, like tall, big thing. The Makkoryn castle is very earthen, just like all the rest of the buildings. It's just taller is really the only distance in it, and it's got some fun peaks. But it does just kind of look like a weird mountain from a distance.
Yeah, it's,
Mm-mm.
you know, that's where the royal family. I don't know. I guess they're doing something today. It's not completely uncommon. We don't see them often, but I also haven't been around too much. So
As you guys are kind of stopped having this conversation, the noise that you can hear of like guards shouting starts moving towards you vaguely, and you can hear they start to come into sound. You start to be able to make out the words, and they're like, clear a path, clear
Earshot.
a path. Earshot. That's the word I was
Yep.
looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess we're moving out of the way to form the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Supposed to.
Just covered in our bags and traveling gear, like.
So you guys allow the crowd to be parted and kind of watch, and past you begins to come like a lot of guards before and around a large horse-drawn carriage. It is a all black carriage with like black curtains drawn over the windows, and it's eerily quiet, almost how silently this carriage seems to move through the crowd, which is parting to kind of point and gape at the proceedings as they go past, and the guards shout either way to part the seas as they travel through. Could everyone roll me another perception check real quick?
Okie dokie.
12 this time.
It's a 15.
18. I have indeed put my glasses on.
13.
Yeah, I would say Rowan is the one who notices this. So mostly what people are doing is as the like proceedings are coming through, they're kind of stopping where they are, scooting back if they're in the path, and then like standing there and watching and like pointing and watching the proceedings go by. But you would notice as the carriage starts to come past in front of you, moving through the crowd on your side, sort of coming towards you as well, very clearly attempting to be subtle, but the issue is that the cloak that this figure is wearing is sort of a rich red, so it tends to stand out among the folk as it catches the light as this person kind of weaves through the crowd, keeping pace with the carriage.
Okay, you said they're on our side?
They are on your side.
Okay, can I just, like, nudge a party member, whoever wants to be closest to me,
Anyone works.
and just kind of, you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's weird, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Can we hail them? I want to follow. I wish
Okay.
to follow.
okay. Rowan's jumping on that.
Okay.
Wait until they come up and sort of pass you, and then you start also moving through the crowd after them.
Yeah.
Sneak.
Do you want us all to come with, or do you want it to just be you thing so it's less noticeable?
Maybe one other person in case I lose them. No, so please.
Hey, Key, you're small and sneaky.
I'm so sneaky.
Come along, stealth team.
Yeah, Karen will follow.
Stealth.
Tactical stealth
Yay!
team. Okay, I would say one of you roll me a stealth, and someone give me an acrobatics, something that relates to moving through the crowd and being able to deftly.
I can do
track.
that.
Kieran's got the jumps.
I got mad hops.
I would say athletics or acrobatics would work.
Please, I'd love to be so acrobatic right now. Let me do a hop,
You
a
do
skip, and a
it.
jump. I can help us find like a good route, and Neph keeps us quiet.
Yes. Okay. I love it.
I love sneaky team.
Oh, I'm keeping us quiet, all right. That's a 22.
Hey,
no.
You are indetectable.
Rowan's in the middle of a sentence. He was like, "Yeah, you guys can go." Where did they?
Oh my
Where did they go? What?
I think Dan already lost track of people. Dan's still thinking about funnel cakes, so I'm not gonna lie.
Me too, Dan.
That's a 19.
19. Yeah, shit. They disappeared into the crowd.
Woo!
Were either of those a nat 20?
No.
Okay. So you guys follow behind, and like I mentioned, the cloak is not doing a great job covering the person as it would seem they would hope. You managed to keep track of them, tail them through, and do a better job sneaking against the flow of the crowd than they do.
Wow.
And you follow them further down the street as they are continuing to pass the carriage. And you get sort of out of the main street and out into more of an open clearing where it kind of opens up into the marketplace, down the street a little from the castle, and the carriage slows to a stop and the guards begin clearing out the crowd a little wider. And you guys get a great view as you manage to sneak through kind of right up behind the person in the red cloak as the guards push everyone back away from the carriage, and then one of the carriage doors silently slides open. Out steps the king, one of the kings, which definitely the kings are recognizable public figures, so there's no role to recognize this as King Althea. He steps out of the carriage down into the ground. He's a very tall dragonborn man, but his dragon-y appearance is more feathery, so he's got very long feathers that flow off of the back of his head down his shoulders, and has the same sort of feathered tail appearance. He is also draped now in black fabrics. He's wearing a nice suit, but it does have the sort of Makkoryn appearance of lots of draped layers flowing of fabric. And there is a somber expression on his face as he steps out of the carriage and sort of does a low bow to the crowd as he glances around. And then after a moment of appreciating the crowd begins to also bow back, and the figure in the red follows suit and bows their head low. They turn their back on the crowd, raise their hands. And for a moment it seems like nothing happens. When they raise their hands, the crowd goes silent. There's kind of a gasp of air, waiting for something to happen, and then there's kind of a pause. And then after a moment, it takes a second to even notice it happening, a blue figure starts to emerge from the back of the carriage. As more of the head emerges, you realize it's a very large blue dragon.
Oh!
Very similar to the appearance of King Althea himself.
Yo!
Dragons!
As it slowly emerges, long neck, feathered head out from the back of the carriage. I wish we had cameras on or visuals because I am body acting this dragon right now. I just need y'all to know.
I'm picturing you doing the hand wavy things.
I'm like
I'm
waving my
imagining
head
a really
around.
sick puppet effect. Trust me.
Perfect. Yes, that's what I want. As the dragon kind of emerges its long neck from the back of the carriage, tilts its head side to side, and then one foot on the ground, another foot on the ground, until it is fully stepped out. And as its tail emerges and kind of curls in around its back leg, feathers brushing the ground but do not kick up any dust, you realize that the back of the carriage that it stepped out of is a solid wall of carriage.
Oh, yeah.
The
Whoa.
dragon takes a moment to kind of survey the crowd, looking everyone over. Like, the dragon is inspecting the people. It's picking up fine details on people's clothing. And after a moment where it seems to have taken its fill of people watching, it then turns, bows its head deep, and then climbs up on top of the carriage, gripping the front and back with its claws. And then it opens wide, feathered wings that had been tucked to its side previously, and kind of bows its head low to the crowd. The king takes his opportunity to step back up into the carriage, the door slides shut behind it, and with one flap of the dragon's wings, the carriage is lifted up into the sky, flies off into the distance.
I like to imagine in the back of the crowd, like Rowan just slow turns to Dan, like, this is normal for here?
Like clapping with the crowd. It's like, yeah, I mean, normal's, it's a little more of a spectacle than usual. I'd assume it's for something.
I would say Rowan and Dan can roll Arcana for me on this one.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, I'm gonna use a different dice.
I feel like out of character, I feel like I'm getting the vibe that they're
Yeah.
going to the funeral, TM.
That's
for the
also
I'm
the
gonna
vibe I was
die.
getting.
Yeah, that's
So
That's not what I was gonna tell you. It's an Arcana roll. I'll still probably tell you something that's obvious, but just for
20.
clarification's sake. Oh, yeah, okay.
23.
19.
Yeah, y'all both would notice. Dan's probably not something this grandeur before, but seen illusion magic from Althea before because he specializes in it. You can assume by watching this performance that the dragon itself is a large illusion. There's probably someone else somewhere who is actually doing the flying part on the carriage, but Althea specializes in illusion magic. So, why not? If you're gonna make an appearance, I might as well make it glamorous.
Might as well be a little bit extra.
I mean, I respect the aesthetic.
Yeah.
From a 23, I would say you can assume it also has the added benefit of drawing attention away from whoever is actually casting protective and flight magic on the carriage itself.
We love stuff like that at like big festivals, kind of yearly events, like appearances from the royal family with.
Oh, it goes hard.
Oh, the fireworks in this city must be
Yes.
amazing.
They're
Like,
bonkers and they last for like eons.
3 hours.
I'm picturing like that, like the
Harry Potter scene with
The Weasleys.
I was thinking the Lord of the Rings scene
Yes.
where they
Oh.
like loose the huge moving dragon at the party.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm picturing.
That's the vibe, I feel.
That's it. We gotta come back here, 4th of July.
For 4th of July.
I think Rowan says that in canon, like, oh, damn. I gotta come back for one of y'all's festivals then. If this
Yeah,
is just
I
some
mean-
random trip on a Tuesday.
I mean, I don't know about random. I feel like this is some pretty
Yeah, definitely not random.
large scale political shifts.
Somebody died, Pookie.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody
but-
died.
I mean, like,
I just like some random trip on a Tuesday, and it's like a major political figure died.
It's like it's the Queen of England has basically died.
Died.
Like,
The Queen's fault for dying on a random Tuesday. What do you expect us to She chose
Gosh,
today.
how dare she?
I meant like something that is prepared for like 3 months in advance kind of energy.
Like, who the heck dies on a Monday, bro?
Gosh, what a loser.
Anyway,
How's Sneaky Squad doing?
I was about to say, yeah, and you watch as the carriage takes off, the cloaked figure in red is frozen for a moment and then starts like turning back and forth and attempts to slip back away into the crowd. I would say, just from how sneaky y'all are close enough to tell from the previous rolls that there's some stress happening here.
Yeah. This guy's now doing the, oh shit,
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? No. Gosh,
all of
darn
the
it.
gonna
bleeps
be
you're
really
gonna
funny
have to
when it's
put
bleep, bleep,
into
bleep.
that.
Yes, it will.
Oh,
Bleep,
fantastic.
they've left.
if we just start saying bleep?
Yeah. Better for editing.
What are you doing next?
Okay. Can we tell who it is by their non-sneakiness?
Give me a perception check, and Art, you can roll with advantage.
I will roll for you. That's a 19.
I got a 14.
Okay. Kieran has a sneaking suspicion he knows who this is.
I feel like,
And I think Art has a sneaking suspicion.
of course, I are for renegade now. I think Kieran acts on impulse, as we've seen by the bird. Sometimes you gotta let the whimsy take you. And this is one of those situations where I think Kieran looks back at Neph in the way that a cat looks at their owner before they do something devious. And you can tell that it's going to happen before. And Kieran doesn't say anything, but just makes some eye contact that says a lot.
Kieran's paw is in the vicinity of the cup of water, and
I
the
am
cup of water is
so-
on the
it's
edge
on
of the
the edge of the
table.
table. Like it's asking for me to push it. And Kieran like looks and then looks back at the person and then and yawns and scurries to the crowd towards them.
What are you doing?
I think is gonna actually try and get to them without them seeing him. Just be more
Okay,
stealthy than they
okay.
are.
Yeah, roll stealth, I'll roll perception.
Okay.
Oh, you win. Yeah, I already know.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 2.
Yeah, I rolled a 19 on the die.
Oblivious. Not a clue. You're right next to them, and they're like,
I want to do that thing where I stand next to them for like a hot second, and I'm walking with them. I'm like, I'm a part of the crowd. It's nothing there, and like get close enough to confirm my suspicion.
confirm you absolutely do.
Wonderful.
You get a peek under the hood. It is his human face that you would see under the hood, but still a face you would recognize.
Yeah, I think Kieran will like duck head and look at the face and let himself be seen under his little cloak.
Let himself be seen. Okay, let me roll perception and hope this guy does.
God, if he doesn't
Any roll. You know what? Good enough. Not great. Good enough. So he catches your eye, recognizes you, and I think there's the moment you can see like recognition cross his face, and it turns into like pure surprise and shock. Let me do another roll. Yeah. Immediately as soon as he sees you, a dragon nose pops out of the front of the hood in surprise.
That's so good. I think Kieran like jumps a little bit from surprise at it happening, like didn't expect it to be an involuntary thing that just occurred, and then like really starts to giggle about it. Like that he is sneaky is gone. He is laughing. This is funny.
He will also start like I think he's confused for a second, and then he reaches up, puts a hand on his dragon nose, and then also starts laughing. And then after a second, there's another little like poop pop, and it turns back into a human-esque form, but is giggling a little bit, and he's like, "Is that who I think it is?"
Yes, which you would know if you were better at being sneaky.
Well, we can't all be you, Kieran.
You were very bad though. I noticed you really easily.
Well, yeah, I know.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't think Kieran knows if he should go in for a hug or not, but is like visibly excited to see him.
I think he also doesn't know and is sort of like shuffling his feet a little.
Kieran will take that and run. Hugs.
You know like the like wraps arms around waist low hug when like the hands go up in surprise for a second and then kind of like folds around you. That's what happens.
Little.
Neph, I would say that you could see this happen.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
Neph's
not
I feel
like
like Neph is watching. That's the thing. Kieran went to hide. Kept eye contact because knowing that Neph would be able to track Kieran. I think Kieran would probably like pull away from the hug and be like, "What are you doing out here?"
I was about to ask you the same what are you doing here?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I'm a bit weird there. Is it okay? I have friends,
You-
but they're cool. They're nice. They're really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
and then we'll like look at Neph and we'll have a signal because we totally have a signal.
We
behind
totally,
us.
yeah.
Definitely.
I think he's just not hiding, so we'll try to catch either
Yeah.
Dan or Rowan's eye from where you guys are. It's just like I feel well.
Yeah, that
Maybe
can
Neph
happen.
can do that because I'm short, but someone
Yeah.
will catch you guys' eye.
You hear like a
in the crowd.
wolf whistle or something.
Exactly.
I like to think when we're like, we have a signal now, it sounds really cool, but it's just a thumbs up. Like,
Mhm.
No, okay, no. Potter, you said that. That's canon. I think we finally look over and we're like, "Where's Dan?" Oh, that's my other friend Dan over by the funnel cake.
Kieran being like, they're really cool, and then hard cut to Dan just like shoveling funnel cake into his mouth. Like,
Yes. Thumbs
God,
up.
I just realized Dan is so Fred Jones coded.
Yeah.
He's
You're
oh
right.
my god.
I need to cook on this later.
But yeah, we'll beckon them on over. And maybe like move out of the crowd a little bit if we can like get a spot that's just not in the middle of everyone.
Yeah.
I think Neff's gonna come over and go, "Oh, hello, sorry we were following you. What is this?"
I think that really quickly Dan's gonna like be like, I'm sorry, could you give a second? And like grab Kieran by the shoulder and be like, hey Key,
Like pull no, hold on, we need to have a break and just moves like 5 feet over as like a party huddle.
I don't even think they're moving, just like turning Kieran around from the others. Just like
Hi.
that's
Dan.
like the prince, right?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's standing there awkwardly, like blushing a little bit.
I look back and like wave, and then I have to look back at Dan.
You can hear the whole conversation.
I just need to like double check that before I didn't. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, great. And Dan turns around and he like bows.
You have fun. Hold on, let me just and like wipes the funnel cake powder off the side of your
Oh.
face to powder trigger.
Thanks, but just like clap him on the shoulder. Daps him up real quick. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something like
Dap me up.
Kieran just watches that exchange and just slowly turns back.
no, but like yeah, just pats my shoulder. No, Dan turns around and like bows. It's a pleasure, Your Majesty.
He's like, oh no, I'm trying to. It's okay.
His cloak of billowing is going. He's trying to make a good impression.
Oh my god, he had one of those.
He fucked up with
Holy
the Lost
shit.
Prince.
Oh
Okay,
my
he's got to
God.
get a different reference.
Get it.
He needs him to like him so bad.
Where's that fucking gif from a Harry Potter musical? It's like, oh no, 2 people are mad at me. It's like,
He needs his
Dan
guy to
cannot
like him so
have
bad.
that.
He needs his prince to like him.
Oh my God.
I don't think I said bow. I don't think it's like a big like formal like thing. I think it's just like a like the dropping down into a bow kind of thing, and then with the cloak
Like
going.
the head tilt that they do in The Crown.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh right. Kilthak is going to be like, "Are you sticking around? Can we go somewhere a little more low key? Is it okay?" Anxiously looking around, pulling his hood low.
I mean,
Kieran will nod. Kieran will go to a nod immediately. Yeah, sure. And then be like, oh, and then looks back and he's like, can we? But like looks at you all with the biggest eyes.
we ain't on a time crunch.
I mean,
I suppose.
I guess or
Nothing
going.
against it.
And looks back. Yes.
He'll probably just take you back and duck back inside of the castle gates, kind of into a hallway, into like a main hall, and then just pull over immediately.
Mhm.
And then he'll take his hood down at that point. Description time. Yay!
This dragon hot.
100%.
Oh.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Absolutely. Everybody, let us introduce you to Tall, Dark, and Handsome. We have been
Smoke
waiting.
show.
Yeah, finally, told Dark and
I've been waiting for this one.
So when he's dragony, he's got kind of like a light orange yellow color scheme, and he's got some feathers similar to his father, not quite as feathery, but just a couple. But when he is in a more human form, still got some reptilian eyes going on, and sharp teeth, and some slight scales on the cheekbones, but for the most part, more human. He's got tan skin and blue reptile slit eyes and sharp cheekbones. He's very tall. I think he loses maybe an inch or two when he is not dragony, I want to say, for spice, but...
There's a joke I can make there, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Listen, the things we know about tall, dark, and handsome. The things...
Anyway, but he's very tall, like close to 7 feet. And he will take down his hood and kind of like smile at everybody and is like, oh, welcome. You were saying, what are you doing in Makkoryn, Kieran?
Kieran like buffers for a minute and forgets what we're actually doing in Makkoryn. That has left my brain.
Exploring, to be fair. Not much else.
Visiting family? Yeah.
Yeah.
We were stopping by Dan's
yeah.
place.
Okay, yeah. And Kieran, I think Kieran will also like take down his own hood, little ears and horns are chill, and be like, we were visiting family with Dan's family here, and also exploring, and also going to places, and then like was gonna say the library, and then just like realized maybe you shouldn't say that, and then put it off.
Okay.
Places.
He'll nod slowly and go, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm glad you're here. I heard about everything that's been happening in Viewin recently, and nobody knew where you were, and they wouldn't let me come with them to the funeral. I thought they would get farther out of the kingdom before the carriage took off, and I'd have a chance. But we see how that turned out. But you're here.
It was kind of the point that no one knew where I went.
Yeah, that's fair. But you're okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
I made new friends, and
Yeah.
I made a pact, and I have magic now, so that's cool. This is my friend, and like pulls out Tortellini. And I think Tortellini is so a fan. Like Tortellini is like, that's my favorite guy.
Tortellini does a gesture with his hand and points at him and points back at himself. And then is like,
we are the same, you and I.
We are the same, exactly. You get what I'm saying.
Dragon.
We are dragons. And it's like, okay, Tortellini. It's like Mushu, Mulan being like, we are dragons. And it's like, okay.
Not lizard.
Not lizard. Dragon.
They don't do that tongue thing.
Dragon.
So Tortellini, if he had internal dialogue.
Perfect. I think Kilthak looks at the dragon for a moment in surprise and is like, oh, he's adorable.
He was a gift from my pack. Boon. He was a boon. I got that from a dream.
Do you... this is a question for you, Art. Would other royalty have any idea about how the royal family in Viewin works at all?
I don't know. I think it's up. I'd be chill either way. If you think it's like the royal families would know something like that.
Yeah.
Especially if they've lived long enough, like they're like a long living royal family of any kind. I feel like it makes sense that like.
Okay, I will roll history and let them decide how smart this man is.
Yeah, let the dice can figure.
He's turning out more stupid than I thought because he hasn't rolled very well.
No, he's just not sneaky. He's not dumb. He's just not sneaky.
He's just a himbo. He's just a guy.
He got a 13.
He just needs glasses.
I think it takes him a minute of like he goes, oh, you're wait, does that mean no, Kieran?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I'm out here.
I
did find the Aurelius though, and the Aurelius went back. But
I heard.
And like holds up the locket. I have it.
Well, I don't think that was a bad decision.
I don't know if I agree quite yet. But I got Tortellini, and I made like friends for like one of the first times.
Waves.
These are my friends, and like we'll turn to them and be like, "These are my friends.
Yeah.
I've been traveling, adventuring,
a
little bit.
Where have you been?
I broke someone out of prison.
What? Yeah.
Dan's like,
Technically, we paid someone out of prison.
Yeah, it was very on the table.
It was
Yeah.
an easier time.
I got robbed.
No, you talk about like traveling and places you've been, and there's literally like a glimmer in his eyes, and he's like excited to hear every detail, and he's like, "Wow."
I think Kieran does gently info dump about how they went to
Oh, and he's hanging on your every word.
like the well. They got to bring that up. Like
The well.
The well
Well.
is important.
he makes it sound so much cooler.
Then it was 4 people not realizing they were looking at a wishing well.
My friends threw me down a well.
It's a dramatic retelling of everything they've done. The last 21 episodes have been recounted.
Plot twist.
Mhm.
This entire podcast has been Kieran.
A recap.
explaining-
Dun, dun.
Now that our 21 episode recap is over, we can continue our story.
This is actually where the story begins.
Anyway, back to the dragon we were fighting. We were actually defeating the
Yeah,
prince.
back to that's where we're at.
No, yeah, he's hanging on every word, very interested in all of the adventures that you've been on. He's like, that's so cool. I really was hoping I would get a chance to get out of the kingdom. But, you know?
Can't you leave? Maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, they're gone. You could be gone too.
You know, you've got a point.
Parents not in the house, man.
Parents in the house, man. Kieran parrots that immediately. This is a great influence.
The accent is gone.
Rowan's a fantastic influence on Kieran. When we made him break someone out of prison, we're now like, hey man.
They let me jump in the well.
I mean, we're heading out. If you wanted to like tag along,
You could come with us. At least maybe to the next town if you wanted to not travel by yourself.
You can see the gears turning in his brain. Like a serious expression, he's like looking at you, consider like you can hear the gears turning, and he like looks over his shoulder.
I think Kieran like pause for a moment and be like, I for one think I've been the happiest I've ever been when I left my kingdom. Maybe you would too.
Ooh. There's a moment of silence as that kind of settles in. I feel like his ear twitches. I think he's still got vaguely dragony ears. And he's like, yeah, that sounds great, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Kieran will get extremely excited. Little tail is going 1,000 miles per minute.
He has like a little bag under his cloak anyway, because he was already preparing on sneaking out. So he's like, yeah. Are you guys leaving now?
Yeah, Kieran will look back at the party and be like, guys, can we sneak this prince out
Yeah.
of here?
I suppose, yes.
Oh, Rowan's nodding. Yes.
it's kind of becoming a habit at this point. Like,
Yes, we
Yeah.
can sneak a prince out of here.
Oh yeah, this is like 3 for 3. This is 3 for 3. This is the badge on our Girl Scout thing.
I think Rowan will go, yeah, that's great. Totally down for
Mhm.
Prince sneaking out.
Yeah.
Kieran,
Yeah.
how do you know this man?
When I was younger, our family visited, and we kind of got away from everyone, from all the royal people, and I wasn't allowed to really be involved, and kind of accidentally ran into each other. I was scared of you at first because you're a dragon, and that was new for me. But you didn't mind that I had my ears and things, even though that was a bit of an accident. It came out, and we became friends whenever we could see each other or we could get away from the royal things or the people. But it's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nobody could tell me what happened to you in the coronation. And if nobody could tell me, I was gonna go find out myself.
Frankly, I don't know if many people cared.
admittedly, that's kind of my bad. I kind of scooped him up, and we just kind of ran the.
I did get scooped up. And I think Kieran will like quickly explain that too, of like how his father told him not to come back if it wasn't with Aurelius, hiding away with
Ooh.
Nancy, being scooped up with Dan, and like saved in the moment of looking really panicked, and then ending up finding this little crew and kind of sticking together with Nancy for a while, and like give a little recap of what happened that night to him specifically, and how, and probably also will explain what happened with finding Aurelius later and then making the decision that he doesn't want to go back, he doesn't want to rule, but accepting his power and Aurelius going instead to figure out things. But we'll explain getting scooped up.
Looks like you got pretty lucky then.
And like smile at everyone. I think so too.
Looks like I got pretty lucky then.
I think so too. Come on, let's break you out of this castle.
Cute. That's a cute moment to end that scene on, I feel.
Mm.
I say we either end the episode there, or I can grab Ven and do Night on the Road dream
Mm.
I think that works. Night on the Road dream.
Mm-hmm.
to end it
That
off on.
works, yeah.
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 It's cute.
And then there were fewer.
And then there were
Okay.
fewer. Okay, so the party has settled down on the road with a couple of tag-alongs. We've got Juniper and Hilthak in the party now as well. But I assume it's probably going to be like in wooded area, pitch tent kind of camp vibes.
Yeah.
So I assume Neph makes a space for himself.
Probably.
Respect. Still, yeah.
I presume we do like a nightly watch, and so Neph would be expected to wake up at some point and like guard, like we
He still falls asleep at some
did love
point.
to it.
in
But
the
he'd fall
night.
asleep at some point.
Okay.
Eventually he'll be up a tree, but not right now. We're on the ground. We're snoozing. Bit of a honk shoe, if you will.
A little bit of a honk shoe. Okay.
Perhaps.
Okay, so you awake and find yourself. It's a darker scene. You awaken. It is nighttime, and you find yourself outside for the first time.
Oh, great.
You were out of the castle when you were in the stables, but there you see the stars above your head, and for a moment you think you've just woken up in camp until you hear the light splashing of water and realize you are out at the docks that are connected to the castle. The docks that would be used for royal transport via rivers. But you find yourself on the docks. It's weird because for a moment you look around and there seems to be no one else there.
Oh, good.
After a second, you kind of turn one direction and you're like, weird. Turn the other direction. And then from behind you in the direction you had just turned, you hear a little, having fun yet?
No.
And
Oh.
then the counting down begins. Places you have to hide are there is a little rowboat that is tied up to the dock that you can climb into and hide, presumably like under a little cover on the rowboat. There is a shack full of like fishing supplies and things that you could tuck yourself into. There is a large post that has kind of nets draped over it and tied to it that you think you could kind of hide, tuck yourself behind. And then there is a little drop-off area that like has a sort of ramp that goes down into the water that would be used for lowering boats into the water, but you can kind of tuck over that edge down on that ramp.
So yeah, I'm tempted to Eddie Munson style into the shed, hide in the shed.
that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I think Neph's gonna pick the ramp.
Okay.
Gonna kind of tuck himself out of sight. Very bare bones out here. There's not much to hide. It's all out in the open. I think that makes Neph extra anxious.
Okay. As you tuck yourself down closer to the water, the counting sort of, even before it gets down to 1, the voice kind of fades out as you get closer to the water, and the gentle lapping of the water against the thing kind of drones out the noise. Give me a quick perception check.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that's a 16.
Okay. So you're hiding for a moment, and it takes you a second to notice, but you realize that similarly to the horse in the stables that kind of began to repeat the same movement, the sound of the ocean sounds real ocean noises, but after a couple seconds, you begin to realize that it's sort of on a loop, and you could swear that you heard the same wave noise just a moment ago, and it kind of repeats itself. And I think that this notice and trying to pick up on the patterns is what keeps you distracted enough that
Oh.
you are surprised when you feel hands reaching over the side of the dock onto your shoulders. Similarly to when you had made a run for it in the stables, everything kind of fades black, shrinks in around you. And normally at this point in the dream, save for the last example, you would spring awake at this point.
Yeah.
But this time, the darkness kind of persists. It presses in closer around you, and as the darkness sort of presses in, Figuratively, you feel pressure begin literally, and a crawling pain starts to wrap itself around your ankles, around your wrists where the runes were, up your arms, until it gets up to around your neck. And that is when you spring awake. However, the pain that normally persists when you are found does not fade immediately.
Oh, yay.
It persists. Whereas normally you would be able to sit straight upright in bed, there's sort of like resistance on your joints where it takes physical effort to right yourself in bed, and it feels sort of like if your joints were kind of wound up too tight, as if there's like kind of rubber bands pulling tight in every joint, and it takes physical effort to fight through to move at all. You're awake, you look around, you see the rest of your party sleeping. Whoever's on guard is on guard, but you hear a voice in your ear say, "Found you." And that's where we'll end the episode today.
Oh, you're insane. You're a sick, sick bastard. You're insane. You're crazy. What the fuck? And these motherfuckers are gonna come back. Guys, on a meta level, there's no one else in VC right now. It's just us two. These motherfuckers are gonna come back for the next episode. And we have to start on that.
I have no idea.
Oh my god. You motherfucker.
It's about time something happened, okay?
I know.
Let's
no,
be so
you,
real.
At the start of the episode, you were like, do we want to, now that everyone knows about the curse, are we still going to go to Korea? And I was like, in the back of my brain, I was like, I really think we should go back to a medic and like get this checked out. But I also...
Too late now. Thank you, Ben.
No! Hey, at least Kilthroat gets to be around for,
That's true. We do have a large party for what's coming.
Oh, tall, dark, and handsome. Oh.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 21 of Cantripped. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the show, leave a review, leave a comment. I'll try and come up with a fun question to put in the poll so it's not just, what did you think of the episode? So check for that, and it'll be something silly, and you can be silly, and then we can be silly together.
Tagline of the show: being silly together.
If you're listening on YouTube, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and leave a comment. Do we have something to comment? Tall, dark, and handsome.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Who is this diva?
Who is this diva? I want that one.
Yeah.
Who is this diva? Yeah, check out the Patreon link in the description. There's some fun things on there. Patreon has a new feature where you can make a one-time purchase to buy a specific post. I think the lowest I could set it is $3. But if you don't want to spend the $5 a month, but you really, really want to read the short story that I'm working on for Aurelius, or the lyrics to the Ballad of Daniel Thorns, or the blooper episode, you can do a little one-time purchase just to see one of those things. They're all up for sale on our Patreon now. Unfortunately, the early access episodes can't be set to be purchased because they are public after they go up. So the actual episodes aren't under that, but everything else is. Check that out. Cool. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.